Okay, so when we last saw you guys, you had just finished fighting the big swarm of bats.
I almost died.
Everybody either kicked butt or got their butt kicked.
She almost died. Her pet almost died. Kaylee and Ryan hearted 70% of the bats. I became a tornado.
Of steel. Zoe, what is your health actually at right now? What's Grace's health right now?
Gwen. Either somebody healed me or I healed her.
She healed you. What about Baku?
Who's back?
You just special.
Blood burns. Blood for the blood god.
Blood for the blood god.
That killer is from the boys.
Okay, so you heal back up. You got some time. The plan is to follow the ghosts from the cemetery up the road to the castle. And see if that provides you any clues. At midnight, but you've got time between now and then. So, is there anything else you want to do? One of the suggestions was resupply.
One of
the other suggestions was
spirit. You low on spirit?
He's down one.
I'm perfectly healthy. Clearly, you guys were not ready for this.
Alternately,
Perfectly mentally.
also swearing vows to people. If you feel like swearing vows to, like going to Mad Mary and say, I will bring your daughter back to you if at all possible.
That seems like I want to do it. The council has voted. This is a bad idea.
Well, she can do it if she wants to. Alright, can she cook sheep stuff? Because she didn't take the books. Alright. Sean, can I see?
What's
You
the
guys,
book
maybe you didn't swear it. I thought you did.
What's the book thing?
Retrieve the Tome of Ravenloft. Anybody, he swore it, so anybody else can write it down if you want to. It's a dangerous quest, which is one step above troublesome. It'll get you some X.
It'll get you. What is it? Toolbox.
Retrieve the Tome of Ravenloft. Sean's doing it partly because it might advance Ravenlore thing. Mm-hmm. Mark it as a dangerous quest, which means every time you advance on it, 2 boxes. Two boxes.
Since troublesome is 3 boxes, dangerous is.
It's harder to finish, but you get more XP for it.
No, you get less XP. Troublesome, you get 3 boxes.
No. That's not what I mean. 3 boxes every time you advance it. When you finish it, you get 1 XP for finishing troublesome, but you get 2 XP for formidable, so on and so forth. It's interesting, in the Starforge one that we're doing a sci-fi one, and the rules are slightly different. You can get XP for doing these vows, but you can also get XP for forming bonds and for learning lore that people didn't know, like discovering new things. Like exploring space and stuff like that. It's really neat. But forming bonds is as hard as finishing quests in that game. You have to work at it. It's pretty
Please be my friend, like a bond? Please be my friend, I need XP.
Alright, so go ahead and sit down and I'll grab thing here. We need a thing here, and I will look at the quest move. It's a quest move. It's called Swear an Iron Vow. When you swear upon iron to complete a quest. So talk to me about this. You leave you tell everybody at the church that you're going to come back. You'll be back later, and then you go down to Mad Mary's house, which is Mad Mary's house down here. You see the ping on the map?
Can you get rid of the picture, please?
Oh, sure.
Sorry,
We remember what what Father Donovan looks like, right?
I say to Jonathan, sir, you're my. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Grant, I'm not burying the bats.
I look like a freaking plague doctor.
That's
you
true.
are a plague doctor.
All right.
My heart is one. I am mentally incapable of being kind. Of course,
It's not incapable. That just means it's harder. Okay, so from the chapel, Zoe down the street, down here to Mad Mary's. You just go out by yourself with your sister?
Guess so. Spoiler warning, she's dead.
Your sister's kind of like whispering in your ear, like
Even the dead person agrees.
This is her scene. Okay.
I'm just saying, even the dead person agrees.
Are you sure this is a good idea? It might cause conflict. And we all know that you're not.
Oh, she's so sour.
Well, she's dead.
She's gently reminding you that it's your fault.
Gently. Super gently.
Yeah.
So gentle.
This is so sister. I'm doing it anyway.
Alright. So, what do? The door, you can still kind of hear some sobbing from inside the house. What do you do?
Oh God, she's still going. I will find your daughter. Goodbye. I'll find her. Open the door. I will find your daughter. Goodbye.
Well, the door doesn't. It's barred from the inside, but you can knock and. The
Find your daughter.
sobbing at least pauses for a little bit. Alright, so here's the thing. Don't go doing it again.
I'll find your daughter. Goodbye.
When you knock, you can freak the dogs out. Alright, so when you swear an iron vow upon to complete a quest, write down your vow. Now, do you think this is a troublesome quest or a dangerous quest?
Troublesome, we don't really care. I care. She can just be disposed of once I take control.
Okay, so let's just go with troublesome. When you swear upon iron to complete a quest, when you swear upon iron to complete a quest, write your vow and give the quest a rank. Then you roll heart. So we'll write down. What do you want to do? Bring back. Oh God, what is Mad Mary's daughter?
Gary.
It's not Gary. Hang on.
Gary. That would be very positive. Scary. Scary.
Gertruda.
Scary.
Turn Gertruda
Scary to scary.
to Mad Mary's house. Get Gertruda home. Troublesome. Sure, why not? Right. Let's have a roll. Zoe. So the roll is heart. You're rolling and you're adding your heart and you're rolling. Just add heart to your d6 and then tell me what your d6 is.
So 5 on my d is 8.
Yep. And what did you get on your d10?
8 and 7.
Whew. All right.
I beat 1. So
you beat 1.
technically, that's a mixed success, right?
That is a mixed success. That's correct. Where's your paper clip for your moment? Do we have a loose paper clip somewhere?
The paper clip is on the loose.
All right. Well, I remember right now it's at
Paper clip is on the loose.
I remember right now that your momentum is at a -1. So.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So. Okay. So on a week 8, you are determined to begin, but you begin your quest with more questions than answers. You can take +1 momentum and envision what you do to find a path forward. So I'll make a note here on Quinn's character momentum.
What? That was +1.
It was at -1.
Wow, imagine.
John. Not
Hey,
helpful.
sit. Come on over and sit. All right.
I'm not very high on momentum right now. Yep. I mean, it kind of sucks.
All right. Turn Bruta to Mad Troublesome. All right. Here's your character. Did anybody else want to do anything while you're waiting in town or no?
I mean, we could refill on supplies.
Your supplies up to 4 thanks to working with getting some supplies from Ismark.
But now we need.
There's another option here. If you guys are inclined, well, let's do it like this. So Ismark comes over to. Oh boy, who's the person to talk to? Yes, you. So your plan is to head to the castle at midnight. Will you require a guide?
I think the dead people will be a guide enough. I say,
Are you offering to come with?
Well, I might be able to be convinced. He's not actually being coy about this. He's not entirely sure that this is the thing he wants to do, but he's theoretically willing.
I don't know, guys. Should I try to convince him or not?
John, what are you doing? You gotta be careful about this.
I know I was pulling on the cord to make. Why? That'd be my answer to every question.
Okay, Sean, kind of don't. Lost a bit. Okay, great. So one of your options, in theory, would, do you want him to come with? I guess that's part of it.
I don't know. I don't know if it would be beneficial at all.
So there's a couple ways.
The eyes of me.
Well, it doesn't really. Let's not worry about whether it comes with. Do you want to form a bond? That's a bigger question because that has some advantage having him as like sort of an ally. Mm-hmm. Even if he doesn't come with, when you come back to town, if you're doing stuff with him, it might have some benefit there.
Yeah.
Same thing could be said for Irina. As the burgomaster's daughter or son, either one of them would be interesting to have a bond with. If you think Irina's in danger, leaving her here might be the best thing to do. It might be the worst thing. You might want to bring her with you so you can keep an eye on her. I don't know.
What do you guys think?
If we bring her with, she has a chance to be bitten the 3rd time.
If you leave her here, she has a chance to be bitten.
So we leave you. I'm not gonna answer because I'm pretty sure I'm still walking back to the other guy Mary's house.
He hasn't he
It was
hasn't exactly done a good job of protecting her in the past from that.
He could stay with the priest.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he doesn't actually live at that house anymore. Only Irina and her father did.
Exactly.
He could stay with the
I
priest.
think maybe we should take her with us, because
He could
I'm not sure
stay
she-
with the priest.
I'm not sure if she agrees to that unless you form a bond. There's a possibility. I mean, you have. What are your vows right now?
Could stay with the priest.
my vows are to find my wife, destroy Count and retrieve the tome of...
Hey, come on.
I think that if you were to swear, guys, please come over here again.
No.
I think if you were to swear a vow to Irina to free her of whatever curse the Baron is trying to, guys,
What was that?
Back over here, please.
come on. That's what I'm saying. If you were to swear a vow to like free her from the Baron's curse or whatever it is he's trying to do to her, and that went well, that would at least open the door for you to potentially create a bond, and that's better.
Break open the door. Hey,
What do you think?
what? Can we form a bond?
All right, do you guys? What's that?
Break open the door. Hey, can we form a bond? My whole thing today is breaking open doors.
All right, so Kelly, yeah, for this one, if you're talking to the two of them, and you know he's like, well, I just what do you even? He'll I'll kind of open the door for you on this one. It's like, what are you even intending to do with it? And you could if your response is at least at least in part, I'm going to cure I want to cure your sister of this thing, and swear the vow. All right, so it's a heart roll. There's no real modifications to it or anything like that. It's just
I have the highest heart.
7. Are you kidding me?
it's your moment.
That is a
777.
Triple 7.
Wow, that's super difficult.
Yeah.
oof. And professional's words. Oof.
The only way you guys can rescue her from this, I don't know if you can. Let me look at something.
Let her stay with the priest.
Because this is bad. This is a tie. It goes to the challenge dice, and it's a match, which means it goes truly horribly.
Just let her stay with the priest.
It's not, buddy.
John,
Here's the
it's
thing:
not what we're talking
the
about.
dice have hit the table. What the dice indicate at that point in time, having hit the table, is going to happen. Okay, but there is a way you can probably get some. You can help. And I'm looking for that. So aid your ally, secure an advantage, in direct support of an ally, score a hit. They can take the advantage. So if you do secure an advantage,
Maybe we can combine
Just-
all of our momentum.
no, it's not about combining momentum, but somebody could secure an advantage, and when you on a strong hit, you get an advantage. You can choose one. Basically, if I can get a strong hit, man, this secured advantage is not. Theoretically, if I got a strong hit, I could give you a +1, and that would be enough to push you over. Okay,
I would really appreciate it.
I can try, but
This heart's not very
it requires a strong hit. Which okay.
Your attempt alone.
Okay. We have fought, the two of us together, as well as with our companions, have fought many vampires in the past. They are simple creatures, driven by basic instincts,
driven
and
by
while they seem sophisticated and urbane, are really little more than beasts and animals. We shall easily best him, clear you of the curse, and free you to live a normal life. Now, the interesting thing, the important thing to know about this, is it Valerie? The important thing to know about this, Valerie, is the fact that you and Leo have fought many vampires in the past is news to you. You don't know what in the blue hell he's talking about.
Oh, I was
He
absolutely sure about
is
that.
lying through his poorly cared for teeth. And the reason for that is I'm trying to roll Shadow to reinforce our confidence in us by flat out being deceptive, because that gives me a slightly better chance of getting.
That's the face of I failed back.
Okay, I'm gonna look at this thing because I feel like I'm gonna pause it here for a second because I want to look.
Take one, everybody.
Take what?
Take one.
Take one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. I don't need Ironsworn to be this brutal. I'm going to go with this version of Secured Advantage that's from Starforge because wow. I figured out why Secured Advantage kicks us in the teeth so hard, or doesn't kick us in the teeth so hard as I remember it doing in Ironforge. Because wow, it's so much worse.
Yeah.
So in Ironforge, so let me say, the way it's written in Ironforge is if you get a strong hit, you can either take +2 momentum or you can take a +1 on your next move. Okay? And if you get a weak hit, all you can do is take a +1 momentum. Okay? With Starforged, here's how it works. On a strong hit, you get +2 momentum and a +1 on your next move. And with a weak hit, you get to pick one or the other. That's much better.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with this because this is kind of, I feel like that other. Anyway, which is fine. All right, so I got a weak. With a weak hit, I will hand you a +1, giving you against double sevens, which is actually pretty good. And the double sevens,
Which means you get a total.
it means you get a total victory against a match, against doubles. Okay.
Does it like add up or something?
Since
I don't understand like the double.
no, come here, sit down, and I'll explain it. Look at her. Go walk around and look at her dice. You see, look at her challenge dice.
Both sevens.
Both sevens. When the challenge dice, look at me, Sean. When the challenge dice are doubles, it means either something very good happens if you beat
Or
it,
something very
bad happens if you miss it. This was about to be something very bad, to be something very good. And what I will do, Kaylee, is I will roll.
Someone like randomly comes up and shotguns her in the face.
No, probably not that. But it might be Irina swearing to never speak to you again because of the sheer audacity that you have of daring to interfere with her, with what's going on in her life. Or Strahd decides to personally take your interference out on your skull or something like that. In this case, it goes in your favor, and what it will do is I will definitely open up the door for you to. So I know, but so what we get with this is her reaction to your words, and Leo's bald-faced deception is like tears welling up in her eyes. You think for a second she's going to run up, but it's like gratitude. It's just the fact that somebody's going down. And Ismark puts his arm around her and gives her a squeeze, and he's kind of almost getting a little sniffly and misty-eyed. They're just so overwhelmed by the idea that somebody's going to help. Okay? Do you want this to be... I think it should be at least a dangerous quest.
Yeah.
It makes sense for it to be formidable because it's no small thing to say, I'm going to reverse this thing. And Leo will do the same thing then. Formidable, free Irina from you guys want. You can Sean can get on it too if you want, but you're not really.
Nope.
All right.
I'm too busy taking over
Okay.
and making everyone pay their taxes. That's not gonna happen.
All right.
That's
So
not happening.
yeah, I need to do a modification on this image to drop the. Holy moly, that secure and advantage is rough in the original Iron. Yikes. Sit down. Sit down, please. Come on.
Nothing but an empty plate.
All right. So
of
since it's
flour.
doubles, I'm opening up. Since it's a double that you beat, Kaylee, I'm opening up the Forge of Bonds with one of them. You can attempt to create a bond. When you do, roll +heart. If you make this move after you successfully fulfill your vow to their benefit, you may re-roll any dice. All right. You didn't fulfill your vow to their benefit. So I'm not going to let you re-roll dice, but I will give you a +1 rolling it because... let's go back to swear. Let's go back to swear and iron vow. That passed. On a strong hit, you are emboldened and it's clear what you must do. Raise your momentum by 2. And Zoe, as you're kicking the tick. And then on the bond, so I'll give you a +1 going into this roll just because you had those doubles. You had that career going into it. So again, it's roll heart, and then a lot of rolling. +1. On a strong hit, make note of the bond. Mark a tick on your bond progress track. Just one. So just one hash. Yep. And then bonds aren't really well noted on there, but yeah. And what you do is write a bond with her.
Irina is a free warden.
She's not a free warden. Okay, so then Kayla, you get to pick. You get to pick from either taking +1 to your spirit. I don't think your spirit's damaged right now, is it? Or take +2.
Or don't have any momentum. I don't know that's what makes you the lowest. No, I literally can't find my momentum.
That isn't exactly what it means. I'm sure we've got a clip on this or something. I'm not sure I don't know where it ended up.
Hello.
It got someplace weird, I'm sure. Alright,
Cute.
so The only thing she asks is, what would you have me do? I mean, you could pretty much ask anything over at this point in time. Like, forging that bond's kind of a big deal. You could actually, if you get the XP together, Haley, if you got together the 3 XP, you could actually get her as a sidekick, basically.
Sweet.
Like, that's not what they're called, but like sort of companion.
It's kind of wondered if I...
Ismark's like, are you sure that's what? I mean, taking her into the lair of the demon?
Well, it's the only way I can personally interpret.
Or if the priest.
Again, Leo lays it on things like, really, have no worries.
A fan? Leo!
And you just kind of like randomly tap him on the back of the leg with the handle of your hammer. Like, ease
Let's
up.
talk about this later.
Ease up there, Thundercloud. What is a role-playing game really without some snacks? I mean, alright, so, enough dilly-dally. Quit wasting my time. Let's get out of here. Let's go.
Goodbye.
Alright, so, where was I?
Saying that it's just a vampire.
Wait a second.
Back to my
We're gonna
face.
talk, son. Don't eat sand, son.
But you eat
Alright, okay.
one son. Excuse me, sun god. Lower your son's light. It's
Get you back
burning
over.
my
Alright,
eyes.
so, map of Barovia. Out of it.
Barovia.
There we go. Alright, so you start out in the village of Barovia, following the, you see the thing on the map? Following the road out of town, across the bridge of the Ilvis River, so on and so forth. Following the spirits as they march, well, in some cases march along, in some cases just wander.
Notification, I thought it was a call.
Maybe it was someone say it.
Alright. So the climbing moon and the glances of Ismark eventually get you moving. Despite the reluctance you might fear. It's not really fear of the castle that has you guys dragging your feet. It's what you might learn.
Mandor's daughter, where are you? Kind of said I
You have an opportunity while you're walking, while things begin walking, and while you guys begin walking. You may have a moment or two to talk to Leo if you actually want to talk.
No, I'll leave him be. You know what he did.
Help?
Yes.
Right.
I'm not going to scold him when...
He just likes to laid it on a little bit thick. I mean, it worked. So.
Yeah.
Know some of these spirits personally?
killer's
Closely?
wife.
If they failed against God and their free wardens, what? You forgive me, but what makes you think you will? And Leo starts to go, well, and you. This fog's got in my throat a bit. I'll let Valerie explain. He was about to go into. You guys have never seen that. The guy who plays Vision, okay, is in it as Geoffrey Chaucer, a drunkard. Yes, that Geoffrey Chaucer, a drunkard who is convinced to basically play advertising campaign for a young man trying to pass himself off as a knight.
Oh my god.
So before every joust and stuff, he gets out in front of the audience and gets the crowd riled up by getting them like, ladies and gentlemen!
And then he passes
Those of you
out
not sitting
because
on padding in the seats, all the rest of you out there, that kind of thing.
and then he faints because he's a drunkard.
And he's so good at it. He is just completely
And then behind the stage, he faints.
There's Washington in it too. It's a good show. Anyway, they do a very interesting thing where in order to
They
capture
do a conga line.
how the people of that era would have reacted to the music of the era, rather than playing the music of the era that we are not going to react to, they play rock music instead. And they have them like doing all of their medieval dances to like rock. Yeah. So they're out there in the stands outside of a joust like.
We will. Stop.
It's a fun movie. Anyway, the reason I'm thinking of it is because the stories that Chaucer comes up with about like the great heights, it's like he gets done and everybody's cheering, but the people who are actually the friends of the night are like, we are going to kick your ass. You realize what you're making him have to like step up and deliver at this point?
My sister is going to join the conga line of ghosts.
Alright.
Conga line.
So let's convince literally all of the ghosts.
Are these ghosts any threat to us?
No, they're in a conga line.
They're not.
They'll get in line order and do a conga.
We're not.
Conga
Guys.
line. Conga
So drop it
for that.
No, they're wandering up the road kind of despondently and lost. And remember, you tried to talk to them and they just don't react. Follow the spirits, both trying to watch and trying not to watch the ones that you know for a few miles, winding through sparser woods towards the base of the nearest mountain. It is an eerie experience. The ghosts largely take no notice of you. Most don't even seem to see you. But the presence is unnerving, and you see, if I don't know about the rest of you, but you see Leo at least touching iron fairly often as sort of reassurance.
Why?
Because it's sort of a superstitious thing, like, knocking on wood or, things that you do to ward off evil. Taps his iron. If he's got a piece of iron on his chest plate or your knife, just tapping the blades together, just tap, just a little nervous.
Vampire! Come out, I'm gonna freaking stab you!
That probably won't go as well as you think it will.
You come. Alright, listen.
What if I carve a steak?
Now listen, you come somewhat abruptly to a fork in the road. And I'm going to ping where that is. It's right. Where's my mouse? You come somewhat abruptly to a fork in the road. And what's interesting here is that the ghosts are continuing on, but the three that were your wife's companions have stopped. They are the three of them all staring silently down the fork to the right. Now the ghosts are going to the left, which winds up towards kind of the mountains, but the ghosts are looking down the path to the right. That is more like staying level and following alongside the creek.
There's a camp.
Don't. Okay, that's on the map, and you don't.
My resolve, it's faltering.
They're looking down. They're not exactly gesturing, but they're pausing for very significantly and looking down this right-hand fork that follow it. Rather than going up into the mountains, it follows more along the stream that you just crossed over, the river.
You're trying to get me to go down this path. I see your play.
I mean,
and I'm gonna do it.
Oh God. Well, I'm following the ghosts.
Please do.
well, okay, don't split up the party, please. That makes my life very difficult.
But I don't want to drag them with me.
When you guys get closer, they turn toward you, they stare meaningfully at you, but they obviously they still don't say anything. They look back at the smaller path, and then they turn, the three of them, looking exhausted, and continue to trudge up the larger road that the rest of the spirits have already taken, leaving you at the crossroads with a decision to make.
And that is where we will... Which way do we go? Do we go
No, we're not going to separate.
Right? Do we go up? Do we go?
They seem to want you to.
Do it
Yeah, I know what they want me to do. Thank you.
Do we push right into the castle? Not using unintended game methods.
Well, I mean, you wanted to learn something from them. It seems as if they are going to tell you something. You should probably pay attention to it.
Okay.
I'll follow the path, even though it's not the right one.
Well, you can always double back if it doesn't go. This path doesn't continue on forever. It only goes down to the waterfall at the base of the mountains there. I mean, sometimes you'll see there might even be. Oh, look! And you can see through the trees and down along the path, like kind of through the trees up ahead. You can see firelight and torchlight on ahead down the path once you've been walking for a bit. All right, please sit. Please sit. All right. So the canopy of mist and branches overhead gives way to a clearing near a wide spot in the river where the river gets wider and more shallow. Dry grass is rustling in the wind. Colorful wagons are parked all along the banks of a pool that's formed where this spot where the river widens. All along the banks of the spot where the river's widened out, there's colorful wagons parked next to the water. There's a... You know what an accordion is? Yeah. So there's the sound of an accordion mixed in with some somewhat amateur fiddle playing. Okay. Mixed with the wind in the trees. Several, perhaps as many as 10 brightly clad figures surrounding a large roaring fire. This apparently seldom used trail passes right. Get even kind of close. Several voices call out, "Hail from the fire! Join our singing and break bread with us!" Which is a traditional greeting among the mysterious travelers. You could use that word. So colorful sort of travelers, wagons, that sort of thing. God, that sun there is just killing.
Isn't that why you wear a hat?
Yeah, but it's kind of still annoying. Here we go. Choose a file.
It's like we slept in that hat and it just went all over.
Yeah, I'm just doing it to block the sun on my eyes. So, okay, this is
Ghost.
picture.
Those kinds of wax.
That help?
That
Are some uselessly fancy wagons?
Well, they're essentially these people's homes. So they,
you want to make it homey.
they want to make it homey. They decorate them quite. Oh, this is a good one too. I like this one. It's like somebody came up with some miniatures for them. Actually, you know what? There's a spot in the Shire where when you're riding along and you go along from Mickeldelving over to Hobbiton, and there's that one crossroads where there's all those wagons parked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of look like that, like the sort of hobbit houses on wheels. Anyway.
Except not burrowed into a mountain.
Exactly. That's why I said on wheels. All right. So anyway, back to where we were. You can be a little surprised that they realize that they know that since you're still pretty far from the fire. What do you do?
I want to ask them why they're traveling.
Well, they're parked, love.
Yeah, but why are they here?
Oh, we already set up here. Come, sit. We already set up here if we're in the country, in this land. The pool is calm. The sound of the waterfall, and further down, you can see where the waterfall falls literally off the mountain that Castle Ravenloft's up on. Falls into the other far end of the pool here at this spot. We'll lull you to sleep in the night. It's quiet, aside from that. And there's very little traffic since the road doesn't go anywhere.
It looks like Sean's skipping.
No one else really comes here, so we come here.
Do I have notes?
Why do you
That's
come
what
with
you
the Baron in the overhead?
Right there.
Shh, can you? Oh, they kind of shrug that off. Well, we know how to stay safe from night.
That looks like the Muppets.
They say that, but at the same time, none of them look up at the high cliffs where the castle is overhead. Like, they just purposely don't. Like, they're all sort of collectively pretending it's not there.
Also,
You don't.
also being safe means ignoring all things they.
And the Vistani are complicated, right? Because they're out here, they seem to think everything is fine. Some of them seem very friendly. Some of them don't seem that friendly. They're not normally known for taking sides one way or the other, but at the same time, they were the ones that brought you the false letter in the inn. Well, some of them, I should say, Vistani, not these Vistani necessarily, but Vistani brought you the letter that brought you to Barovia in the first place, and 3 of them were the ones that gave you such a hard time in the inn earlier this evening. They don't seem to be here either, or at least you don't see them immediately.
Ghost conga line.
Okay, can you please? All right. We know how to stay safe. Also, one of the mats poking the fire, and not Madame Eva, who's otherwise. She wanted to talk to you. He still doesn't really look at you, but he goes like this and nods towards this wagon. It's not the largest wagon, but it's definitely the most brightly colored.
So, pink and white and
No, we're very.
print, white and brown. About light blue. Light blue. Light blue. It's like light blue, but
It's a good size wagon. It's big enough for. It is pretty good size because it's big enough for visitors. So it's big enough for you guys to crowd in. It's probably. She doesn't even look up. The wooden door is open, but there's like a drape across it. Guys, I need you to pay attention. Okay, to this. Okay, the door is open, but then there's like a drape across it. Kind of like in the camper. You know how there is in the back, where there's like that cover in the way. So you have to kind of pull this drape out of the way to get in. She doesn't even really look up. You walk in, kind of look at each other, looking at her. She's still spreading out cards out on a cloth-covered tablecloth, like these different, like strange cards with symbols on them and stuff, pictures. They lied to you at the fire.
Oh, what specifically?
Well, I did want to talk all of them, but the reason that we don't have to worry about the beast and about Von Zarevik is because some of our people do his bidding and have ensured, they believe, our family's safety from his other.
oh, of course.
She makes a show of kind of pretending to spit to the side, like.
All makes sense now. My theory that they were fake has been shotgunned out the window.
We're not all on the Baron's side. Would you please let him out, Sean?
Yeah, it was you. Congo line. You told me to dribble it. No, I didn't. Literally said Zoe drove.
But I can see that you're going to attempt to bring this monster down.
Is our end goal?
I would offer you what guidance I can if you're willing. When she says what guidance I can, she gestures at the cards on the table, and then on the stools on your side of the table. Please sit. We will read your fortune and see what we can see, what ways there may be to achieve what you aim to achieve. Past level. The images I see are often wisdom and insight, a little bit of luck. They may be able to help. She gathers up the cards and shuffles them, and then she has.
Me.
Who's going to cut the deck? That means she puts up the pile and then you split them. You want to do it? No, you are the witch.
I'm terrible at this in real life.
Okay, so she hands you the stack of cards. You're just supposed to split them into 2 stacks.
Give it.
She begins to deal out a race. She lays 5 cards out face down, and then slowly turns each of them over and studies each of them before.
That's. Take them.
Let me move you guys to a card.
Sorry, I'm singing my ghost conga line.
Alright, so I need you to stop. So she lays out 5 cards on the thing, and then she studies them. And these may tell you more of the things you seek and whisper what the monster's ultimate goal. That's the first one. Wonk, yeah, it's the first card.
No, I can't see it.
How's that?
Good. Nice down.
Alright.
Looks like Julius Caesar. That's right.
This card represents an object of great power. This card represents an object of great power, a powerful force for good, protection against the forces of darkness. According to this, it is in a place of tranquility, a harbor for the mighty and the powerful, a place of wisdom and warmth. And she kind of does this. She has like, great wisdom would be there. So, yes, possibly a castle such as that. Now, Renus.
Oh, I thought she was here too.
So what she's saying is, you might be able to find that if you find a library.
And we kind of need to do that anyway.
She taps the second.
That is a lot of satanic markings.
No, it's not, Sean. That's a pentagram. It's just a symbol for wisdom and power, and in this case, it's printed on coins. Wealth, okay?
Wealth in that.
This card, she taps this card. It is a card of power and strength. It is the victor's card. It tells of a weapon of light. A weapon. You may find this weapon amidst the ruins of a place of prayer.
Turn around, we're going back to the church.
It's not ruins yet.
Yet, very yet.
I said yet.
Alright, so, you should take down notes. Grab a sheet of paper or something.
I'm just writing on the back of my sheet.
Alright, so, holy symbol in library, powerful weapon in
Church.
church.
So I'll have to split up to go back to the church.
Leo's like,
Alright, I'm going back with
like,
Leo. Birdman is taking Leo.
no.
All of these
Like,
things are
all
in
these
the
things
castle.
are at the castle.
So just straight up left.
Zomer! Oh, Kelly's writing it down, babe.
I know.
Alright. She taps the 3rd card and said, this card speaks of history. Knowledge of the ancient may help you understand your foe.
Hey, look, another pentacle.
Yep.
Well, that's the book.
This knowledge
Could be. I know what I'm talking about.
What's this?
That's the book.
The book use.
and
No,
considering you swore an iron vow to find that book, Sean, you might want to be interested in this. This knowledge.
Yeah, I'll be just taking that. I'll just be like, I stole a card.
This knowledge lies in the monster's mother's.
Right?
Okay, so you're gonna write that down, Kelly? So knowledge. This item of knowledge lies in the monster's mother's place.
Place. It doesn't mean place. Like place could be like her mom, her office.
Her downstairs office.
It's the book, great knowledge.
Yeah, it doesn't specifically say book. It says knowledge of the ancient. Okay.
Knowledge book.
Leo kind of leans over and goes, I don't.
You see, this guy agrees with me.
Leo's joke is he goes, oh, wonderful, the book's hidden.
Well, it's not hidden in anybody's underwear drawer.
Alright. She taps the 4th card. King, sitting on a throne holding the cup.
Look.
This is the object of your search. Monster himself. I can see darkness and evil behind this card. A powerful man whose enemy is light, and whose powers are beyond the bounds of mortality.
Then why is there Sean? Then why is Sean back?
This is the object of your search, a monster. I see dark. She doesn't mean in the background of the card. She means literally psych. Don't try to make a joke out of it. Just a powerful man whose enemy is light and whose powers are beyond mortality. Closes her eyes and concentrates. A king's throne where you can find.
Quick, build a throne.
Well, there's a good chance it's somewhere in a castle.
Stratus.
Oh.
He's a DM self-insert.
However, she says, the cup indicates there's good influence. If you are there, the powers of good. I mean, it's not really that surprising to hear that the Count would surround himself in the symbols of royalty. It does surprise you a little bit to hear that he may be at some disadvantage in that place. And finally, come on, John. Alright, so... Alright. So Madame Eva's eyes are so closed when she reaches out and touches the final card. And here is the root, reason and foundation for all the darkness and chaos. The card shows the purpose of all things. It is the key to life and death and beyond. Her eyes open. Darkness loves a light and desires that light. She looks straight at our pale as great plans are in motion about you, girl. Plans that the dead may find warmth from the living.
Well,
Leo's comment.
I knew we should have left him.
priest isn't gonna do crap when the vampire comes. Well,
at least she'll die somewhere holy and just be like,
I'm hoping she doesn't die at all.
You've sworn an oath to protect her.
You
guys are so
when your heart is one, there's not much you can do in terms of holy.
What? When your what is what?
Heart is one. There's
No,
no.
that's not true, but it just means that you're not necessarily. It doesn't even.
Although let him out.
No.
No.
You won't. Sit up.
Yeah.
Out of the front. Oh, look at me. Understand this. It doesn't mean that you're bad, even, or that you don't. Sometimes they don't go well for you. Okay. Kaylee is a very heartfelt person who says lots of nice things to her friends and has great conversations. But sometimes personal interactions do not go her way. That doesn't mean that she's not a caring and loving person. It means that sometimes she has bad luck when it comes to that kind of stuff. Or has in the past. I think she's lovely. Hold on.
It's hard because I can't see what it is.
I don't know what the number's getting anyway.
She can make. So basically,
If you're about to insult me, I'm gonna stop you.
she can create a volcano with her kindness, with her kindness, and I can probably make a small bowl of stew.
I mean...
No, a spoonful.
Okay, so please come back and sit down. We're almost done, but I'd like you to be over here, okay? Okay? Can you come back, please?
Okay.
Alright. So you guys are kind of talking amongst yourselves, getting up from the stools and stuff. Eva says, my people do not all feel as I do about that monster in the castle.
Monster?
Many simply ignore him. Many of my people simply ignore him. Some of them serve him directly. You may encounter them when you reach the castle, or even before that. I cannot say. Her jaw is clenched. She looks angry about that. But know that there are some that oppose him, and I am one of them. And I hope this helps you as much as it can. You, Andrew says, mostly looking at Irene.
4 feet off my tail.
The ghosts.
I'm keeping set.
Please, Zoe, please. The ghosts are gone far ahead on the road.
And that is where we
Kind of worth it.
And that's where we'll stop.
Alright, so here's the thing. We're going to mark off a few bits of it, because you got a bunch of information here, so I'd like to advance a couple of your deeds, or your quests, your vows. Alright, so, get pencils, turn your sheets around. Where's your sheet, Zoe?
My pencil in
Here, just
that.
Alright, I'm going to mark, so do it. I have a vow for finding the truth behind the Free Warden's disappearance. I'm going to mark 2 hashes off on that.
I have
Okay?
a vow on
Oh, I can help the village of Barovia, because that's one's actually already done.
I have put Gertruda to Mad Minery's house.
Alright,
That's
you
rude.
didn't advance the Gertruda thing, because this doesn't have any...
I'm assuming my wife.
Retrieve the
What-
Tome of
shh.
Ravenloft.
Punk. What was the... Tell me how the vow was actually...
Find my wife.
Learned a lot more about the castle, and there seems to be some indication that she's there somewhere, so yeah. Why don't you... So is that an epic, or is it extreme?
It's an extreme.
So 2 hashes. So there you go, filled up 1 box. You want to try to keep
Retrieve
the
the Tome
vow?
of Ravenloft.
No, I've already filled in 1 box. I've started filling in my second box.
Oh, good. Good.
Retrieve
Toby, be quiet.
Retrieve the Tome of Ravenloft.
Retrieve the Tome of Ravenloft. Very definitely advance that. So fill in 2 boxes with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So make a plus and then an X over for retrieving the Tome of Ravenloft. And the reason for that is, Sean, you've been told exactly where it is. You just have to figure out what that clue means. Okay? It lies in the monster's mother's place. Where did you know?
That's exactly what you told me to do.
Yeah, but on this one.
Ah!
You're on the wrong road.
Or that.
Okay. Drive, count, Strasbourg, out. Yeah, okay, so put 2, make a plus in that first. Free Irina from Strahd's Curse. Well, free Irina from Strahd's Curse. Fill in 1 box, Kaylee, because at least we know what it is that Strahd wants. Light.
She's so light.
Okay, did you, what other vows did you have? You had the thing for Gertruda, what's the other one that you have?
My spirit companion.
Your spirit companion? Okay. So
I don't
nothing there.
have anything else.
You had thrive, count, Strasbourg, out. Oh,
Drive on Zerbeck.
make 2, make a plus there. And the reason, because you're learning where the Tome of Ravenloft is. Cool. Cool. So we made some advance. We didn't close anything, but we're advancing our thing. Yeah, Zoe, I don't think you necessarily know where the girl is, but getting her back a little. All right. Cool.
Bye.
All right, with that, we will pause. We now are back on the road, and we're heading back up to the gates of the castle.
Goodbye.
I think what's really interesting about this, one of the things I find really cool about Ironsworn is these original modules, these original D&D modules and stuff. They have like these basic magic weapons or holy symbols with bonuses to specific foes, or they give you a bonus to turning undead or whatever. They don't give you bonuses in Ironsworn, but they make
Things easier.
Yeah, they make things achievable. Like beating Strahd right now in a hand-to-hand fight with all of you together would be flipping impossible.
Yeah, you told me about that.
But if you're fighting and you have somebody wielding the holy symbol and somebody has the weapon of light,
Dad.
I know. I am saying it because that part's kind of cool. It's just kind of a different.
Which is cool.
You know, it's very straightforward in Ironsworn to say this thing lowers the threat level, so you get if magic weapon plus holy symbol plus fight the guy in the blessed location, and now it's only a horrible fight as opposed to flipping impossible.
Yeah.
All right.